So after a few months of waiting, we finally got the announcement and official confirmation of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet DLC. Revealed in the Pokémon Presents presentation that was revealed on Pokémon Day, the Scarlet and Violet DLC is going to consist of two parts. Part 1 is called the Teal Mask, and Part 2 is called the Indigo Disk. And the Teal Mask in particular looks really interesting because it seems like we're not just going to be getting new content, but we're going to be introduced to a brand new region altogether. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the idea that this could possibly be the case and explore the Teal Mask and all that it could possibly be offering a little bit more in depth, because I think there is a lot of really cool stuff here that is honestly super fascinating. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so I am clearly really excited about this video, but I'm also excited about the amazing sponsor who helped make it happen. Aura is the sponsor of today's video, and they want to help you protect and keep track of your information on the internet. Basically, even though the internet is great, it's also an extreme mess when it comes to using it and keeping your information safe. If you've put any kind of info out there, it can be found by people, used by people, sold to people. It's honestly ridiculous. But with Aura, you can protect yourself with pretty much every online safety tool that you will ever need, all inside just one app. For example, Aura can identify and stop data brokers who sell your information to third parties, which is what causes all those telemarketers and automated text messages you get all the time. Aura can also opt you out of junk mail and keep an eye on your email and passwords to see if they've been compromised, and will also provide support on what to do next if that happens. The crazy thing is though, I'm not even done listing everything that Aura offers, because the Aura app also features a VPN, password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and it even protects your devices from malware. Needless to say, Aura goes above and beyond when it comes to protecting you online, and as if their offerings couldn't get any better, you can also get 2 weeks of Aura for free if you sign up at aura.com/HHH, which is my personal link. That link will also be in the description and can also be visited by scanning the QR code on screen. Give it a look and start your free trial today and protect your information online, and a big thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. So during the initial reveal presentation for the Scarlet and Violet DLC, it was the first part of the DLC, the Teal Mask, that actually intrigued me the most. And part of the reason why that is the case is because of this premise that we're actually going to be going to a new region in this part of the DLC. It's mentioned both in the Pokémon Presents presentation as well as on the Scarlet and Violet website that in the Teal Mask part of the DLC, we are going to be going to a new land known as Kitakami, and that is where all of the events of this part of the DLC are going to take place. Unlike in the Sword and Shield DLC, where the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra were two different places that were actually a part of the Galar region, it is very specifically mentioned that this is beyond Paldea's borders, and therefore is an entirely new land all its own. Additionally, we are also seeing brand new Pokemon be introduced in this new land as well, with several that have already been shown, and more could obviously possibly be introduced down the line as well. So essentially, based on what we know right now at least, it looks like Kitakami is going to indeed be a brand new region that we will at least get to explore to some extent in this DLC, which is absolutely fascinating. However, I do also think it's important to note that it could also be something like a sub-region instead of a full-blown region like the Paldea, Alola, or any of the other official regions we've seen to this point. The reason why I say this is because it's obviously being introduced in a DLC and not a game of its own. Additionally, we've also seen this sort of thing happen in a game like Pokemon Fire Red, for instance, where we were introduced to the Sevi Islands, which was a new location that was not in the original base Red and Blue games, that was tacked on as a sort of sub-region to provide those games and the Kanto region with more content. And it seems like Kitakami could be that same sort of thing. However, the reason why I am getting new region vibes from Kitakami is because it also seems like we are going to be gifted honorary starter Pokemon to be able to play through this part of the DLC with. And those 3 honorary starter Pokemon are Okidogi, Fezandipiti, and Munkidori. Now, when it comes to these 3 Pokemon, I'm not saying outright that they're actual, real, official starter Pokemon, but it seems, like I said, that they're playing that role for the purpose of the DLC due to some various factors. Number 1 is that they are being newly introduced in this DLC in this new land of Kitakami. Number 2 is that they are obviously a part of a trio. And number 3 is that even though we don't actually know their types at this point, based on their coloration, it seems like they could align with the grass, fire, and water types, with Okidogi possibly being a grass type since it is green, Munkidori a water type since it is blue, and Fezandipiti a fire type since it is red/orange. And since this part of the DLC is also effectively being treated as a new adventure in and of itself, I think what the Teal Mask is presenting to us is sort of a mini Pokemon adventure where we get a mini new region in Kitakami, we get a mini set of new starter Pokemon, or an honorary set of new starter Pokemon, in Okidogi, Fezandipiti, and Munkidori, and we also get to play out a sort of bite-sized story within this new area as well. And speaking of the story of this part of the DLC, we might as well go ahead and get into that. As many people have already noted online, it seems to be the case that the Teal Mask DLC is based on the story of Momotaro, which is a story from Japanese folklore. In a nutshell, the story involves a boy named Momotaro teaming up with a dog, a pheasant, and a monkey in order to take on a group of Oni, which are basically Japanese demons or ogres. And that is exactly what we are seeing in the Teal Mask. We've got 3 new Pokemon in Okidogi, Fezandipiti, and Munkidori that are based on a dog, pheasant, and monkey respectively. And the legendary of the Teal Mask DLC, Ogerpon, literally has the word ogre in its name, so it is very clearly inspired by the ogres from this story, just like the 3 other Pokemon are inspired by the dog, pheasant, and monkey as well. So in order to learn a little more about what the story of the Teal Mask could actually entail, I think we need to look no further than the story of Momotaro, because I think that can generally tell us what we will be able to expect. And as I said, the story involves Momotaro teaming up with this dog, pheasant, and monkey in order to fight and stop these Oni that have been terrorizing Momotaro's land. So I believe that what is going to happen in the Teal Mask, more or less, is going to be that we're going to arrive in Kitakami, and we're going to learn that Ogerpon, the legendary of this part of the DLC, is terrorizing Kitakami, and it's going to be up to us, along with Okidogi, Fezandipiti, or Munkidori, in order to find and stop Ogerpon, and I believe we're going to be given the choice to choose one of those 3 Pokemon that we want to adventure throughout the Teal Mask with, just like a starter Pokemon. It is also worth noting, however, that Okidogi, Fezandipiti, and Munkidori could actually be considered legendary Pokemon officially when it comes to how the games categorize them, because on the official Scarlet and Violet website, they are included on a page that is featuring the legendary Pokemon of the DLC. However, I do still believe that they very possibly could be treated as starter Pokemon for this DLC, in the sense that you choose one of the 3 of them to adventure with, and they are grass, fire, and water types as well, which they could possibly be for the reasons I mentioned earlier. I just feel like every part of this DLC, based on what we know right now, feels like a mini bite-sized version of an entire Pokemon adventure, and therefore I think that is going to be the theme, and that is why we are seeing a new region in Kitakami, and possibly new starters in Okidogi, Fezandipiti, and Munkidori. And speaking of the region of Kitakami, it's also worth noting that there is an actual real place in Japan that is known as Kitakami as well. It is a city in the Iwate Prefecture, which interestingly is a prefecture that sits between Hokkaido and the real-life Kanto region, which equates to both the Kanto region and Sinnoh in the world of Pokemon. This is another reason why I personally believe that at the very least, Kitakami has got to be a sub-region like the Sevi Islands, if not a full-blown region of its own, due to the fact that it is its own defined, unique area of the Pokemon world, and especially because it itself is introducing brand new Pokemon that we've never seen before. And while this next part might not have anything to do with what's in the actual DLC itself, it is very interesting to note that the area between Kanto and Johto, for that matter, since they sit right next to each other, and Sinnoh has already been explored once before in the Pokemon world, and that was with the Sinjoh Ruins. We know that the Sinjoh Ruins sit somewhere between Sinnoh and Johto and Kanto, but that's pretty much all we know about them. So it's very interesting that Kitakami is named and presumably based on an area in real-life Japan that sits right between the inspirations of Sinnoh and Kanto and Johto. Whether these two will actually have any kind of connection to one another or not is obviously yet to be seen, and personally, if I had to guess, I'd probably say that the Sinjoh Ruins aren't going to make any kind of cameo or appearance in this DLC. It nevertheless shows that this part of the Pokemon world that we've known has existed but has been so mysterious and off limits for so long is kinda starting to open up with this new area in the DLC. And that is what has got me so excited about this part of the DLC in particular. We're getting to see a new region, more or less, of the Pokemon world we've never seen before, with new Pokemon in it, and obviously that is one of the most exciting parts about the Pokemon series. With that said though, these are just my own speculations and ideas about what the Teal Mask DLC is going for and what I personally think is going to happen in it. But now I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree with my ideas or do you have some of your own? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more because it really helps out, and I'm going to be putting out a lot more content about the DLC as we get closer to the launch. I'll also be back with another new video very soon as well, so until then, as always, thank you guys so much for watching this one. I really appreciate it, and I will smell you guys later.